IVM.
Never before in the history of radio, television, film or dance bars has there been a show like The Seen and the Unseen. Well, it's mostly about the scene because who knows what the unseen is. It's a podcast hosted by Amit Verma. New episodes out on the IVM podcast website, app or wherever you get your podcast from. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Our country is filled with experts. Everybody's an expert. Everybody's a Harsha Bogle of our country. Today we have the Harsha Bogle of comedy. Navin himself, Navin Noronha, known as Double N for some reason. He's going to talk about everything that's important on Cock and Bull. Along with him is Cyrus, Abbas and Amit. All this and more on Cock and Bull coming soon.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Okay, before we go into Cock and Bull, which used to be Cyrus Says, I have something I want to share with you. See, I don't want to be nepotistic or use this for personal purposes, which is an act of corruption under Indian Civil Act. But I have to say this much. Kabir Khan, one of my favorite film directors and a personal friend, I have drunk twice at his house in broken glasses, and his wife Mini Mathur and I were colleagues at MTV. She was paid more and looked much better. Hence, I won't get into that. He's making a film on 1983 Heroes, the World Cup team of India under Kapil Dev. It's called 1983 or One Night in June or something at Lord's or Kapil's Devils or These 11. I don't know what the name is. But it's a film as a tribute to the 83 heroes who are my generation of heroes. As you know, I'm an old man. Now, they've cast everyone in this show. They've got, I think, Ranveer Singh as Kapil and everybody else is cast, including Sunil Gavaskar to Sunil Walson. There's a small joke in that. I won't get into it. But they have not cast the West Indian cricketers for the final. And I was thinking, why can't I play Vivian Richards? Now, look, I understand the look is not exact and all that, but with makeup, etc., all that can be managed. He's about 5'10 and a half. I'm 5'8". I'm 91 kilos. He was 87 at his pomp. So, I think we can work out something. So, here's my humble request to Kabir Khan, who listens to this podcast. Kabir, think of me for Viv Richards. I can absolutely, his mannerisms, everything, I got it down pat. All right? And I'm willing to do this at 50% of my reduced fee, which we'll discuss offline. It's called Cock and Bull. We'll be right back after this small break.
Hi listeners, we at Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund have come up with a special podcast series called MF 101 in collaboration with Bloomberg Quint. MF 101 is an informative series that will help you understand the recipe behind mutual fund investments. And what's more, it's coming from the chefs of the mutual fund buffet table, from the very own fund managers and analysts who are the manufacturers of the funds that help you realize your investment goals. New episodes out every Monday. You can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right here, right on. We had a cough in the background, but that's because we have lots of people. Now we do the show with an audience, a live audience. You don't believe me? Let's hear the live audience clap. Woo! Yes! Thanks, guys. Guys, keep it down because now the four experts are going to talk, so you guys just stay out of it. Abbas is on my right.
Yes, hi.
Producer of many shows, stand-up comedian in his own right. Navin Noronha returns.
Yes. In the center.
Double N. In the center. He's no longer left of center.
No more.
Comedian, producer, writer, who's got lots of things happening. He's going to be in the Philippines soon, and he's working with Veer Das's outfit as well. And we have Amit Doshi, proprietor.
Yes.
Of IVM Network.
IVM Network. The podcasting network that you're listening to this and many other shows on. Yeah. Like shows like Keeping It Queer, Dating is Garbage, Advertising is Dead, which I was on today, Vartalab. I was also on the Sponge podcast yesterday. And what was the second podcast I was on today? I was also on Shunya One today. So
and more importantly,
these podcasts.
Amit, I hear that there's an investor in Japan who wants to put a lot of money into your outfit.
I think that person is the person I'm looking to meet.
Right. We won't take names.
Yes.
But Kaisho, if you're listening, just
like your sex dolls.
I'm just taking a chance. I am my sex dolls. Okay, first story of the day.
The news that has been dominating for the past week, the sad news of the Pulwama attack where around 40 CRPF soldiers lost their lives. It was a terrorist attack and Jaish-e-Mohammed took responsibility for it, and since then there has been polarization on news channels in general. And
We'll call it polarization. It just people decide that no, okay, so Pakistan's the enemy, rightly or wrongly, and then just go for it. So what happens is all the news goes in one direction.
Yeah.
Now perhaps it's not the right time for Naveen to speak his mind, but I'll let him.
No, I'm not surprised by anything that's happened after this because there's an inherent jingoism in all of us. That's how it is. Like when we are younger,
Not
also,
just Indians.
Not just Indians. Like it's a border thing that every country has. Like we safeguard ourselves. And when we were young, only we were told that Pakistan is a bad guy. Like every movie, everything was like they are the bad people. And it's taken so many years for us to like find some kind of middle ground with them. But the Kashmir issue, like there's no saying how it is right or wrong for us, at least in the studio, because we don't know what the situation is for the people who are living there and for the soldiers who are working there. So we can't say what's right, but the attack on the people who are from Kashmir after that's the most dumbfounded thing I've ever witnessed, because I was in Wakola with my boyfriend and there are people, there's an entire Muslim area over there, and all these RSS people just gathered together one afternoon outside, 20, 40 of them, and started screaming at them to go back to Pakistan. And those poor guys, there's kids over there, okay, they are very bewildered, like, as to how do we react to this, like, because we are being made bad people in our own country, So that's what my problem is with the entire scenario, that we jump on the bandwagon very fast before analyzing the situation.
And our brave hearts like to cover pictures of Pakistani celebrities and things like that.
Yeah.
Which, again, makes no sense.
Like Ajit Devgan is saying he won't release his movie in Pakistan. Pakistan is like, phew. What an asshole.
Yeah.
What?
Ajit Devgan.
That's huge. Careful, huh?
I don't know, man. I mean, like, I actually don't agree with a lot of what Naveen said.
Now it's an episode.
I think that it is fairly clear that there are elements in Pakistan which are enemies of this country that really do attack.
And then the agenda is always high to attack India.
Exactly. So I mean,
or irritate India.
So I mean, I don't think that there is any way that can be kind of
there's no two
dismissed.
ways about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, that is absolutely part of the.
And you have to understand one thing very quickly. We'll just say this much, which is when there are attacks in so-called Kashmir, whether it's disputed or undisputed, the terrorists get to run back to Pakistan.
Yeah.
That haven is a very important point, because they have that haven. Otherwise, we would chase them out. We'd be able to get to them.
We'd be able to get
they
to
keep
them,
just crossing the
exactly.
border and disappearing. That's another huge problem.
So so I mean, I think that's a big thing that we can't kind of neglect, right? I mean, the fact is that the governments of Pakistan, quote unquote governments, because I mean, like, who knows how much power they actually have within
They have
their
no
country.
power. I think blaming Imran Khan is completely wrong.
No,
He has no
yeah.
power.
So
There's no way he's picked up a phone and said, go and do this. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he's
ridiculous.
poster boy
But
for
the
the
problem is that, right? Then I mean, like,
But it won't happen in India. See, in India, we have a central authority, like it or don't like it, where orders will emanate from.
right.
Okay, it's nothing's going to happen on its own.
But-
But in Pakistan, there are 7-8 centers of power. That's the truth.
I get that and I understand that, but at the same time, they are a collective Pakistan, right?
You can blame him like that, accountability and that kind of thing. But,
Yeah, I mean-
but that there's a truth.
Or at least, I mean, like, talk. So I haven't looked at Imran Khan's Twitter account in like a day or so, but I mean, like, for the first 3 days, silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I think
quiet.
he was caught unaware, and it's a difficult one.
But I mean, like,
well, what do you do?
Well, they're simple.
wear the-
we
be a devil's
sympathy.
advocate.
We have sympathy for the victims. We abhor this attack. It's fairly
But keep in
straightforward,
mind,
cliche
so
statement needed to be
one
made.
second, in Pakistan, they're saying things. The papers or the press will say things like "freedom fighter tries to kill." They have used words like
Yeah.
that. Kills, infiltrates Indian army base or
Yeah.
whatever, and 42 Indian jawans are murdered.
Right.
So they use the freedom fighter. So it's a one man's terrorist, the other man's freedom fighter. You have to remember all these perspectives. And from a political point of view, you're expecting too much. If you talk about humanity and humane
sorry, man.
reaction.
I mean, like, no, I
that's
just
never going to happen.
I'll tell you what happened after that, okay? Like, there's an entire group that was formed on Facebook by 50 engineers and chartered accountants, because the most free Luca people in the entire country are those. And they formed a group and then started saying that if anybody speaks even remotely, like, in favor of the militants or, like, say the terrorists or
Not
whatever.
favor. If you take a stand which is more humane.
Then
No one who's going to take
don't use the word
side.
humane. I don't use the word humane, because by using the word humane, you're putting
humane is
everybody on
wrong.
the opposite side.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think
Who used the
that's
word
fair.
humane? Abbas, get out.
No, but my whole thing is this revenge narrative, right? Is also colored by the fact that we had a very successful film a month ago
Yeah.
in Uri, and suddenly everyone is like, let's do a sequel to Uri in real life.
But that's
Now,
because
that's a very stupid thing
people
to take.
are idiots.
You can be
Yeah.
sympathetic,
But
and
that's why democracy should only have so much of power, and it should just, which Pakistan has proved, and stay away from the army.
they did a rail roko at Nala Sopara to express the anger
Yeah.
for the ones.
It's more honest.
ask me what I felt.
I think that makes a lot of sense. If you stop a train in Nala Sopara, you've definitely made your point in Kashmir.
Yeah, it cripples everything over there.
Absolutely. The whole world turned on its head.
I think we need to separate these two things, right? One, there are apologists for what Pakistan's behavior are, and that is unacceptable, because Pakistan is as a nation with whatever it might be, there are some serious issues in terms of how they they are dealing with India. The second is the aspect of how Indian people are reacting to this particular attack.
Right.
And there is some serious nastiness over there as well, right? And I mean, like, these are not incompatible ideas.
But Amit, a government causes this, not the people. If you look at it, it's like saying Nazi Germany was all of Germany. It's not.
Come on, Germans. I mean, like, please, man. I mean, like, no.
There were enough people who didn't want to fall in line.
There were also
enough people who didn't want to do that.
There were also enough people who were happy to have.
And psychophancy takes over, but that's another point.
Yeah, so I mean, like, human beings we are follow the leaders.
We have to believe in humanity, otherwise there's no chance. I'm saying just look around. And you can't blame the whole country and say the whole country is responsible, because it's not like an act that's being
It might not be the whole country, but I mean, like, at the same time,
people are the same.
Who do you? What is the collective body that you look at that is doing what is being done, right? That is Pakistan.
The Pakistan Army and the ISI and the right-wing orthodox that runs everything there.
But then, I mean, like, why do we not hear more noises from other parts of Pakistan talking about why?
Because they don't have the power to challenge these guys.
I'm sorry, in the world of social media and the world of this, why do we not hear more about this stuff? I mean, like, we should be hearing more.
English-speaking world will hear about this, but they are not a democratic state.
Why are we not hearing more contrary opinions? We should be hearing more contrary opinions.
You're right. We should be hearing more contrary opinions.
From Pakistan, and we're not.
And Imran definitely should have immediately condoned the attack properly.
Yeah.
And they can avoid
condemned.
Condemned, sorry. Oh God, huge mistake. They come after us, Naveen, you take the shot. Mine was a grammar mistake, come on.
But can I say this, that you can be patriotic and be totally with the army and support them and blame Pakistan at the same time. So like Prashant Bhushan tweeted about this, that the guy who blew himself up, he was apparently tortured or arrested by the soldiers when he was a kid, right? And that kind of had an effect on him. But the moment you bring this up, that there are also issues, there are atrocities happening with Kashmiris, you're branded as an anti-national because of how dare you say this. And in some ways you're justifying.
Chicken and egg story here, because once you go into this, what is called this bloody civil war, which is what it happens to be, there will be crime on both sides. What do you expect if a Jawan sees another Jawan being killed? If they catch the terrorist or someone who's helping terrorists, they're going to go for it. You don't expect Mother Teresa there. I'm not again endorsing this.
Right.
I'm not ever endorsing torture of any kind, because it's just ridiculous. Even today, if I go back to think about how my sister used to tie me up and then, get her friends to throw things at me. It was the most fun days of my life, but that's not the point.
Yeah, but these are
Naveen's trying to make.
These are very complex issues, right? And the thing is, we have this tendency to simplify all of these things down into certain things, and they're not simple, right? There is bad behavior on all sides. There is good behavior on all sides, but there is, it's a clusterfuck, for lack of a better word, right? I mean, like, there's just a whole lot of stuff going on over here, and we try and pick this one thing, right? I mean, like, I think your next story was the Sidhu thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a benign tweet.
Yeah, and like actually, for a while, like, he's been saying all stupid things, and finally he says something
sensible and inspired for it.
It's not anti-national. He's talking about, again, the same point, which
terrorism
is
has no religion. It's just basically
which is a fair enough point.
No, I think the objection is him saying terrorism has no country, whereas people are now pointing that there is clearly a country which is sponsoring this.
But there are lots of countries that sponsor this, and I mean, like, see, again, it was a fairly benign thing, just around the idea that. Hey, let's not rush to war.
I'm saying drop Sidhu from the show, but do it for the right reasons, like his outfits. There's always laughing. I mean, but get it right. That's
they
all
hired Archana Puran Singh as his replacement, so the laughing isn't going anywhere.
No, it's not, and the outfits are not going anywhere either. I'm sharing that as well. Yeah,
it's good. Like.
All right, I think let's move away from the heavy topic that it is, because we don't have the answers to all this. Naveen, you're going to go to Manila and live there for the rest of your life.
Let me ask you guys this, right? What do you think about these spontaneous kind of demonstrations that occurred in all these buildings and neighborhoods on Sunday? I'm using spontaneous in inverted commas, or rather in quotation marks.
I'm more interested in the thing about helping the Jawan families and all. That's lovely. We're going in that direction. That's the right thing to do. Coming together as a country, as a community, looking inwards, all that is good. But the bloodthirstiness, I understand that is an emotional reaction that will happen. Obviously, it will happen. But I can't, at the end of the day, I get scared of that. I really get scared of that, because I think we all become animals. And beyond that, I love animals.
It's like a small thing, right? It's a match box, basically, just like flicking, and then everything
there's no end to it. It's like a bimari which gets worse and worse. Like, you want blood then. You have to understand in human nature, the thirst for blood will just continue.
So we had one of these things that happened in my building on Sunday, right? And there is good and bad in it, right? So some of the good is that we raised a crap ton of money, right? And I'm like, within hours, there were like some 7-8 lakh rupees raised, and like more people.
Did you keep any of that money?
I didn't do any of it. I was just this. But then at the same time, when I was I was seeing what was going on over there. I didn't go for the thing downstairs myself, but I was seeing what was going on.
Because the lift wasn't working. No more jokes. A serious topic,
But everything okay, that was being said over there felt to me like it was a hot button issue kind of being pushed in the bigotry sense, right?
Yeah.
Bharat Mata Ki Jai over and over again. We know that there is a lot of controversy going around that particular formulation.
Yeah.
Vande Mataram over and over again. We know there's a lot of there's a lot of conversation around that particular phraseology. And there was this feeling that, this triumphant kind of this, that,
Yeah, see, it's the militancy more than the slogan.
Yeah.
It's the feeling of militancy, the feeling of aggression, violence that pervades the air when you have these things. I don't mind the slogans. You say what you want. I mean, Pakistan Zindabad, Hindustan Zindabad has been going on in stadiums all over the world.
There was also that whole, I don't remember the exact... Huh?
How's the Josh?
No, that didn't come up, fortunately. But what did come up was like, that... Kashmir magoge to that whole line, like that whole thing was coming up. I'm just like, I'm listening to that and I'm just like,
but I think at this point we don't even give them kheer now if they want to. So like now we have strained relationships. Make your own kheer.
No, but I think I'll tell you this. My building also this happened, but my building a majority Muslim. Okay, so in that case you have to show that you're patriotic.
God, that's the new thing. That's the new thing. The Indian Muslim has to go out of his way to say, hey, I'm Indian Muslim.
Let's be in the good books. Let's show them that we are patriotic for.
And isn't that like a little fearful? For example, you're from the Muslim community, and don't you feel like sometimes like what if this goes out of control?
Why do you have to do that? Why?
I have to show my certificate every time.
Naveen, if some Christian assassin does something, why do you have a Catholic person put your hand up and say, I'm not? It's got nothing to do with you.
And I fear because
there's always commonality.
If I tell them an atheist, they'll kill me harder. I'm just scared of
that. You'll die in Manila. They'll get you. You'll be very careful.
Also, I was really irritated. I was watching, this is my last thing on this, watching the 9 o'clock news. And Arnab Goswami, again and again, there are people in disguise in our country. There are people in disguise in our country.
He's writing for...
Because my dad watches it for some reason.
Arnab is writing for Veer Das, right? You said?
What?
No. That's not I don't know. I heard rumors. Yeah, but these guys are not doing India a favor. The screaming, the shouting, the rhetoric, which is now actually worse than the political outfit sometimes. And English news channels, more than Hindi news channels, are the worst now.
And how are you demanding war?
I think Hindi news channels are pretty bad too.
No, but one would in the old days, the English news channels were the elite news channels, which, okay, I don't want to sound terrible, but supposedly the liberal channels. Right. That's gone. Yeah. Okay, that's gone. There's no liberal.
But I think that was because as soon as Congress, like Rahul Gandhi and Manmohan went and said, we condemn this attack and we are with the BJP at this point, everything just changed for that one day because everything like, okay, now we can't blame Congress or BJP.
Can't blame Congress. No.
Like, we have to come together.
Yeah, true. The left is always there.
Yeah.
No, but then Amit Shah did make this thing that the soldiers will be compensated because this is not the Congress government. That was his statement.
There you go.
But that's Amit Shah.
But let's quickly surmise this whole thing. I think we're all in agreement.
Abhishek Singhvi did something similar about the BJP today. That's their jobs. Amit Shah and Abhishek Singhvi.
It's a tragedy. It's a terrible tragedy. You can't justify it in any way. Pakistan has to take a lot of blame for this because there's at least, if there's some sort of covert help all the time that's going on. But having said that, looking forward, what is the way forward for people of the
nuclear
world?
Bombs.
Okay, so you understand.
Two countries holding nuclear bombs.
So the basic point is you record the English news channels and you're following it, the dictate, and fair enough.
I'm
and
all for the survival of the cockroach.
What about me? I bought short pants to join the RSS and they changed to long pants.
But here's my question. Yes. You think now obviously cricket will also stop, right?
Now they're talking about the neutral venue match in June with Pakistan, which is going to be the magnum opus even if both don't reach the final.
Yeah.
Huge, just from a commercial point of view, if nothing else. They're saying we won't play, we'll forfeit the match. Now I don't know. I'm thinking, okay, this is a terrible thing and all that, but we've got to put everything. I don't know. You decide. Then we stop everything. We say, okay, Pakistan is the enemy. We stop everything.
Exactly. That's
and give a clear dictate on that, and we just follow it.
I also think that needs to be governmental action. That's foreign policy that needs to be decided by the foreign ministry. That should not be something decided by the IPL.
Tomorrow they screw Virat Kohli. They ask him in a press conference. No, they're going to ask Virat Kohli in a press conference. It's a tough question for him to answer. He will say, will you be playing against Pakistan in the World Cup? What's he going to say? I don't know.
I'm taking my bat and going home. I'm not playing.
He'll be like, before that we are playing West Indies. Let's focus on that. No, it's an unfair question.
No, but this kind of thing is like, it needs to be decided at a particular level, right? I mean, like, didn't the Cine Artists Association or something like that, they decided that we will no longer allow any Pakistani artists to work in that period. So, I mean, like, again, this is something that needs to be decided by
if we decide
government.
That we are in a Cold War, Russia-America sort of thing, 100% proper Cold War, no trade, no commerce, no this, and then you just follow it. Then we all know where we stand.
Yeah.
But you can't, we have a volleyball World Cup or something like that going on, and they come in for that, but you won't allow them for cricket, which is more high profile. Hey, this doesn't work. So make up your mind then.
No, this has to be governmentally driven.
But,
I mean,
but you're right.
like
If Imran had just opened his mouth immediately and I think just said, look, we absolutely can't believe what happened. Or, I mean, whatever. Just said the right things. At least it would have been the first step towards,
then I mean, like, there would have been some sort of normalcy to that. No, I mean,
silence
like,
is normal.
and that's why I don't think that, like, I mean, like, there is absolutely Indian reactions are way out of proportion in some ways, right?
No, but a lot of those reactions is what I call the internet reaction.
I tell them,
internet reactions, people like Naveen, who've never done a push-up in their life.
Yeah.
And chest out and hum jawan ke saath hai. And as if they're going to go to Kargil and fight with a stick in their hands. Never.
Yeah.
But this armchair, internet loving.
I say tax the internet.
Okay, you know what? That's another thing that irritates me, though.
Internet, I hate it.
You know, I think that, okay, so I'm going to come on the opposite side of this as well, okay, for you. You see a lot of...
suddenly you reminded me about porn and now I'm feeling depressed.
It's okay. We have to break
Okay, you see a lot of commentary online and elsewhere, right, around people who are anti-war in some way, shape or form, who are calling people internet warriors and saying armchair warriors and talking about them like this.
Naveen's words.
But to me, the question is that, am I not allowed to express myself online?
Of course you're allowed to express yourself.
Just because I express myself, that
so
makes
I'm
me an
expressing
armchair
myself
warrior?
that I didn't like this expression because I feel the collective expression is a lot of hot
but
air,
there's a difference.
unnecessary. No, but people start...
It's the same as
it starts
people
spreading.
It's the same when someone drops a catch on the TV. Like, "Arey, itna simple catch."
Listen, you guys don't understand. You've already fucked up with Kim Kardashian. You made her into a superstar for no reason whatsoever because people follow like a herd.
Right.
The same thing will happen here with the jingoism. You've got to be careful. And it's not just jingoism between India and Pakistan, it's the whole world.
But
the whole world can
Did you just compare nationalism with Kim Kardashian?
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
exactly.
I'm talking about the fact that it can just spread. These things spread before you know it.
If they cancel
Today,
keeping on Kardashians,
when my son asks me why is Kim Kardashian's star or whatever, and I can't show visual pictures of why, then I don't have an answer.
I think your son's old enough to see those now.
I can't show them. I have only 3 copies.
The last Cock and Bull, your wife
What?
said that your son found porn on your phone. I think it was a Kim Kardashian video.
No, I only watch Desi porn. In this government, I don't want to take a chance.
I think we found your answer, guys. Porn. It's like solve all problems.
I'm coming with you to Manila. We'll do stand-up there. Huh?
Acha, chalo, let's go.
Do you speak Filipina?
Why are you going to Manila?
To perform comedy.
Because ever since
Seriously?
he quit,
Yeah.
no, ever since he quit,
Like, you're not joking, you're serious.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Dude, you're an atheist gay dude. You should not be going to Manila.
I know.
I try to explain that to
That's
him.
a
I try to
challenge.
explain that there will
It's
be
a special week designed for like
no, just
comics
stay
from
away
around
from jokes
And,
on Christianity
basically so
and
that
homosexuality.
they're gathering you all together.
Yes,
It's a purge.
Amit,
It's a
beautiful.
purge. Nice. At least I'll get a visa while going.
Don't buy the return ticket. I mean, at least let your parents enjoy the money.
Yeah, nice. Let's do this.
Okay, so we have a third country to fight with now. We'll take a break, then come back.
Filter coffee is a fascinating beverage. You need to pick the right beans, blend them in the right proportion, roast them to perfection, and slow brew at the right temperature to get the perfect cup. Which is exactly like great conversations as well. You need to track down the most interesting minds, get them into their zone, and settle down for an unhurried, unscripted chat. And coffee for me is always, always, always best enjoyed with friends. I'm Karthik Nagarajan, and do share my table as I meet some of the most interesting people I know and sit them down for a strong cup of coffee and an even stronger conversation. Join me every Wednesday for a freshly brewed episode. This is not frappe. This is the Filter Coffee Podcast.
All right, back here with leading comedian Amit Doshi and these two, Abbas and Naveen.
The ones who go missing soon.
Yeah, well, you never know. Might be a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, we've discussed and we've come up with no solutions to what's happening in our part of the world. Again, I look back at the Arab-Israel conflict going on since 1948 and thinking, really, can we solve anything? Human beings just can't.
1948 is also, I think, understating it. Probably
okay,
more
fair
like
enough.
780.
Well, the land, the Israeli land was a little bit left of where it is now. When you go
enough.
back to
But it's still
the time
the
of Cyrus of Anshan,
Still
who gave
the
them back to
same
Babylon.
Kind of,
My father was in Israel for like a good 5 years.
Your father was alive 700 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
He's
pick
Jesus.
that up. What? You be very careful. You do these jokes in Manila, and you'll be meeting him.
Arey, wait.
Jesus, not your father.
I think I'll cancel my trip only now.
I think
At this point, I'm
just go to
like-
Dhaka. You're very big there, yaar. What?
Yeah, because another very gay-friendly country is Dhaka.
Why did you have to
City.
tell him? Let's get something out of this show.
Tell me which country I can go to. I'm just
Honestly,
I'll
you're
stick to
safer here. And that's how bad the world is right now. That you gotta stay in India, bro.
No country for gay men.
Okay, let's move
Nice.
on. Let's move on to your favorite guy, Donald Trump.
Yes.
He had one of his another
Fits.
one of his
Hissy
Twitter
fits.
storms.
Yeah.
This time he has asked.
You don't realize there's never a nice moment on Twitter with him. Huh?
He went after Saturday Night Live again,
Yeah.
though this time he used some very harsh language. He tweeted nothing funny about tired Saturday Night Live on fake news NBC. Question is, how do the networks get away with these total Republican hit jobs without retribution? Likewise, for
The
many
retribution
other
is you're the
shows,
president. They are suffering.
Yeah.
very unfair should be
bonanza.
looked into. This is the real collusion.
It's
is
a
what it
bonanza for Saturday Night Live, right? I mean, like, they have Donald Trump to make fun of every week.
Yeah.
And he reacts, so they can react to the reaction.
Like he got Alec Baldwin's career back on track. That's the biggest achievement Trump has
Or is it
done.
the other way around? Alec Baldwin's doing a lot for Donald Trump's career because people can't tell.
Yeah.
So the specific sketch he had he took offense to was he declared a state of emergency because of the wall he's trying to build, and they did a skit on it on SNL, and he took offense to that.
I think the Mexicans are saying, give him the damn wall. We can't take it anymore. Shut down government, emergency. We'll build the wall. Shut up and work.
I saw a very interesting placard of a protest. One girl was like, you build a wall, we'll make the glory holes into something.
Naveen, now banned in India. And America, by the way. And Philippines.
That's the news.
There's nothing to say about that.
Let's ask our American expert. Yes, you.
Nothing. Donald Trump's a moron. What more do you want me to say other than
Are
that?
you
But
US
is
passport
this,
holder, no?
I am, yes.
One second, he's the only one who can vote there
Yes.
in 2020.
Yes, I am.
So do you think the guy will come back? Because everybody, I don't know why people say this. It's like they know everything. Well, but he'll win. Middle America loves him.
There's no way to
What
tell.
is Middle America loves him?
So the thing is that it's electoral politics. There's no way to tell. He's never been less popular than he is right now. We're a year and a half away from the
How
elections.
important is the badgering he gets on radio, on television, except for the couple of right channels?
His own cabinet, after they been fired, they come back and talk shit against
No,
him.
but I
5
mean,
books have been out against him already. People who worked with him in just
Yeah.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
there are as many pro-Trump outlets as there are anti-Trump outlets, right? So, I mean, like, from a media perspective, the thing is that we look at all the organizations which are international organizations, right? The CNNs, the MSNBCs, the Fox News, which we see.
No, I watch Fox News.
Oh.
Because I thought there would be
You're their
Foxy ladies.
target audience.
I didn't understand. There was an animal channel. And Fox News, I was so interested. But
The Washington
it sort of
Post,
is.
New
huh?
York Times, Atlantic. We see these magazines, we see these newspapers, we see these TV channels, right? This is the stuff that we see. But at the same time, there is a huge amount of conservative media that is also out there, which is
But
what
here's the
we
big
use with.
question, and how important, and this comes to the context of India and our elections around the corner as well.
Right.
How important a role does the internet, the television, the media, the collective mass media
Right.
play?
I don't know the answer to that because I think it's a changing.
See,
I
in
think
India,
it's a changing
in
dynamic.
India, we have mixed reactions.
Right.
But in America, the left has more of the media under their control, if you want to call it the
I
left.
don't know that that's
Left
anymore
liberal,
true.
let's
I don't
say.
think that's true anymore.
Oh,
But-
come
but isn't
on.
Hollywood
Are you telling me,
considered
Amit,
to be
are you telling me,
more
Amit, the
liberal?
right-wing newspapers are equal in numbers?
Yes, in
the
terms of-
right-wing
in terms of
publications.
audience.
Forget internet, because internet,
Yeah.
there's no way you can monitor.
But even in terms of audience, the Wall Street Journal is a right-wing publication, yeah. I mean, like, it's
That's
not
because it has the word wall in it. Come on. We all know.
No, but
Sorry, Naveen, you came back to this comedy.
Just send Rahul Dravid there.
But
Very funny. But that's again our generation
I'm low
cricket
in
humor.
IQ.
Nobody will pick it up. You're wasting your time. You have a Hardik Pandya joke?
I don't know who
Then
he
keep
is.
quiet. Apparently everybody else does.
no, so there is the right wing media is also very prevalent, right? I mean, like, and this is US, right? Most radio shows, and radio is one of the biggest audiences, are all right wing shows.
You mean podcasts? We are a podcast. And
We're a
what's
podcast.
what are we called?
We're called the IVM Podcast Network.
And we got some political podcasts
We do.
also.
You know, the Cock and Bull show that we're on right now,
Right.
that's somewhat political. We
It
did
is.
like 20 minutes talking about like political issues.
Nobody's ever going to come back to us. after
We
that.
also do a show called The Scene and the Unseen, also a political show. Also the Pragati Podcast, also a political show. Also Pulwama,
It's
also
like
a
he's
political show. Also
completely
Galatatra, also a
insane.
political show.
I've reduced the medication, Naveen, as the doctor said.
All
But-
5 fingers in politics.
Yes, and 9 small white pills, I mean, how much damage can they do?
One more.
You think? All right, we'll
But,
move on from Don. Yeah.
the, Wall Street Journal reminds you we didn't do like a proper cock and bull last week. There was that whole Jeff Bezos controversy.
Oh, wow.
Where apparently Jeff Bezos
the Wall Street Journal reminded you of the National Enquirer.
About moving home.
No, he sent a dick pic.
Correct.
The National Enquirer blackmailed him, no? And
Yeah,
he put that out on
correct.
a post by himself, saying that these guys tried to blackmail
We need Utsav to answer this one because he's our resident expert for this. And Navin, you're the guy in touch.
Not
Use the
resident.
phrase.
Not resident. Not resident. Not resident. All right. He's our expert.
He's an expert from far away, banned in all countries at the moment.
So,
What's your view on dick pics anywhere? My whole point is, forget if you're Jeff Bezos and...
But that's the thing, that the richest person in the world.
It's still the same.
you're asking
What a
me,
moron.
You're asking me what I think about dick pics. Are you serious?
Stop it. No, I'm saying, why would you put it out there in a public forum?
It's not supposed
I'll
to
tell
be
you one
public,
thing.
no?
Yeah, but how can you not think that?
But that is the
how
thing.
Can you not,
That is the
how can you
thing.
make a porn video of you and your girlfriend of that time or whatever, boyfriend, whatever, and not think it's going to come out at some point?
Well, that's the thing, right?
I
Today,
mean, is this the production company showing interest in your porn?
No, the fame is the biggest problem. You become famous, you're screwed. Literally.
It
for being
worked for
screwed.
Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Don't mention
Not
that
for Rhea
name.
Sen, though.
Double K, I can't stand her. I'm so angry with her. And I'm angry with the whole family. Because I used to watch that show and I just didn't understand what the basic... If I had to give a 3-line plot line, whatever, I just know
There
what it is.
isn't. That's the whole point of
But
it.
it was
Rich.
so successful. I mean, Seinfeld had the decency to say we don't have a plot. But what is this?
Yeah.
It's a real life
reality
Seinfeld.
She's rich, bitch.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And now my daughter makes me say all the names. You know?
Yeah,
I
how
mean,
many
reality-
dates- how many
reality-
Kardashians?
Chloe,
Kendall.
Kendall. Wait! I can do it, mate. I can do it. Kim. They're all with K,
Kim,
right?
Chloe,
Bruce Jenner
Kendall.
is now a woman called Mrs. Smith.
Catherine, right?
Sorry, I don't.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn. And there's one more.
The
other guy.
I know that name, actually. I know that name.
Kris Jenner.
Kylie.
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 Chloe, Kendall.
Yeah, I know
are
Kylie
Jenners.
because
Oh, good. Look at
Kim
Naveen.
is Kardashian.
Naveen is damn fast. Huh? Naveen is good. Sorry, you were saying?
inbuilt
I know
chicken case.
Kylie because she is dating a Philadelphia 76er named Ben.
So that's not fair then, because of basketball you found out about
Yeah.
that.
There's a girl
But why
called
do you
Blac
know
Chyna
everyone?
also. Huh?
How do you know all the Kardashians?
I follow up with them. Like I keep a tab.
What's
on
in it
their-
for you?
I mean, entertainment. I like
Naveen
reality
likes to
shows.
do
There
the
are
gay
5 hot
stereotype
chicks.
stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah.
There are 5 hot chicks. It's like me watching basketball.
But there's so much drama in their lives. That's what I like. It's like you telling me, like somebody throwing water on your phone and all of that shit. It's like very petty. But like I would like to see that these people also have their own issues.
So when it comes to right-wing outfits and all, your rhetoric is very strong and all. But when it comes to
So
entertainment, it's
it's so
bullshit.
bad. It's good. That's the whole point of
What the hell is wrong
keeping up
with
with
you?
Kardashians. Just like the Honey Boo Boo show, for example. Like here we have trailer park trash. Here we have very elite rich white trash. But they're doing the same thing. They're equally fucked up in their own ways, right? And plus, I love Kanye.
Give me your favorite episode.
Of Kardashians?
Yeah.
Like it's not. You can't have a theme to that episode. It's just like their ongoing life.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to mention the episode where
Where?
she goes to get her asshole bleached. That's the one. That's the one you keep
Okay,
mentioning
I
all
all
this
answer
time.
now. So and we know he watches it as well. So I'm not the only one on the fucking. No.
What?
No.
1 minute.
Cyrus, you've seen this.
I am 47 years old and I want to share your medication on this. Because what the hell is he talking about? And he's putting it on me, the dirty
I
bastard.
came to know this from you.
That was a harmless conversation somebody else has brought up. I was just partaking in it. Come on.
Okay, I'm a little stunned.
Episode 27. Okay, let's move on. Next.
All right, so Gully Boy released this
Yes,
week,
let's talk about
and
Gully Boy.
it's already at the time of recording this has made over 70 crore rupees in box office collections. Critical.
That's low, isn't it? Considering
I mean,
it's
No, that's
that's
only
it's
Ranveer
the
Singh. It's
three, I think
cheap
2-day
film.
collection.
They shot the film in Bandra East in 15 minutes. It's
Yeah.
This is the 2-day collection.
two-day
It's
collection. Yeah,
gone
because it came out on
further.
Thursday and today
Yeah.
is Tuesday. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
so this is a little earlier.
Okay, all right.
So Naveen, want to talk about this? I haven't seen the film,
haven't
unfortunately.
seen it.
I heard the rap and all, and I got to tell you, it's not for me.
Why?
I can't bear rap, man. And the language change didn't help. Just not my thing. I tried to pick it up, but I'm not Amit. These are rappers. Let them take this, because I'll just say bad
No,
things.
but I've had friends
Also,
who are
Indian
not
men
into the
rapping,
rap scene.
I think
and even-
it's terrible. It should be banned in all countries as well.
What rapping?
The whole rap thing with Indians. After Thanda Thanda Pani, I have not, have you heard Baba Sehgal?
Of course I have heard
So
Baba
after that, I took 6 months. I had to
Yeah,
go.
it's an inspirational story. About
I went to
life of
Eastern
Baba
Europe
Sehgal.
and looked at broken walls for some time. Just get over this. It was very painful. But does he sing in it also? No, he's not there. No?
Ranveer Singh is there.
But he also
Sehgal.
Baba Sehgal is not.
Baba Sehgal. But Ranveer Singh raps himself.
Yeah, Ranveer sings.
So does Ranveer? Is it any good?
It's good. Like he's put in, like he's done a lot of character research, and I think the movie. I was also skeptical because I was like, how are these?
But you like rap.
No, I mean. I like the grunge rap that came with the NWA and the whole back, like
Don't give us a lecture. Nobody wants to hear it.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of the original hip hop movement that happened in New York. And then
Tupac Shakur.
Tupac and
Even before Tupac.
NWA.
NWA.
One pack?
happened.
Oh, sorry, I don't know much. I'm sorry, I apologize.
NWA, yeah, that's a California rapper.
Yeah, LL
People
Cool
can
J,
Google
all those
and
people
catch
in
us.
the back. So, obviously, like the gully rap movement that started in India was from the streets because these people were rapping about poverty and situational, control that they don't have over their life, and they have done.
Which is like middle class India now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like they took Nazi and
Just
Vivian
ignored
Divine's
me.
story. Remember Divine who came to the studio once?
Yeah.
So it's
outside, I stood with him and 10 people came to his autograph. He was already a big star. This was a year back.
So
Our sound engineer Shravan has a T-shirt.
Gully Gang,
Yeah, and
big fan.
And he has Divine's tattoo on his left nipple.
Yeah. Very small, but you can see it.
No, the eye is the nipple. There are two eyes in Divine, so there are two nipples.
Yeah.
Go on.
What point are you even making it?
I don't know. But it's something about
It's a
you
good
grew up,
movie.
you're a classic rapper and you're patronizing the movie and saying it's all right and
I'm not
bearable.
patronizing the movie. I think it's a decent movie. It's very well made. Very like the characters are like.
Can you sing any song from it? Can you rap any of the raps?
All of them. So it's beat to beat, right? Like they have Indian. They have mixed a lot of like Indian classical music also. Like India 91 is a great song as an example.
So we have Bhimsen Joshi in the background.
Yeah, we have him.
Excellent.
He's there.
But what about there have been some accusations that it's poverty porn, that you're trying to show you're trying to
Dude,
fetishize the...
screw that shit, man. I mean,
Glamorize
at the end of
poverty.
it, if you want to tell stories about certain places,
Yeah.
you're going to have to show those places, right? And now if you're
The
going to
best
do it
thing
in a
I read
Bollywood
was it's
context-
Bandar East guys shot by Bandar West guys. I think that's really that's it basically.
So I, for the first 7 years of my life, lived in a chawl system. So I know exactly how that lifestyle is. And let me tell you, it's not overdone. It's not
You know who
unrealistic.
the
It's
most
exactly-
famous guy from the Chawl system is?
Who?
Prince Chawl.
Okay,
How
let's-
disinterested are you in this
because
particular...
I haven't seen the
I don't know,
movie.
he's lecturing me, man, about something I'm not interested in at all.
I'm the only one who watched the movie.
Okay,
so I'm,
quickly.
I'm
Is
convincing you to watch
Did you
movie.
like the film or not?
I loved it.
Okay. Abbas, you didn't see it?
I haven't seen it yet, but I plan to see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but I want to see it. I've heard it's really good from people who I know like good movies. So it's not
Like
just about the.
it's a character study, proper.
Yeah.
Like they have spent time with the
But it's
actors.
like musicals for me in theater. If I don't like the music, I can't sit through them because, it's really
The
boring.
music's pretty good, yeah.
But so I don't like rap. I
They
just
designed,
it's
they
not-
designed the
it's
music
not-
first and then the movie
It's
was
not
around.
really rap. I mean, like it is rap. There's a lot of rapping in it, but there's like some music.
Punjabi hip hop, whatever the hell it is, I just don't get it, man.
It's not
It's
dance,
not
it's
Punjabi
It's not
hip-hop,
Yo-Yo Honey
that's
Singh.
what-
It's not Badshah. It's proper grunge, proper rap,
Yeah,
which
it's-
talks about situations.
That's why I'm asking you to sing 2 lines and you can't rap 2 lines.
देखो तो इधर
I
मेरे
lost
घर-
it. I
गली
don't
में है
know.
घर छोटे छोटे
I
पर
don't
दिल
know.
में
Terrible.
जाएंगे शुमार
Really bad. I won't throw up. Stop it.
पटेली रुकेगी
Shoot you.
हटेली
Off to Manila. Pack your bags.
Okay, last topic for the day. So Chris Gayle has announced his retirement from
won't take 2 minutes of
ODIs.
time talking about cricket.
Yeah, 284 one-day games at the moment. Will he get to 300? Tough because they have 3 against England is 287. If he plays all 3 without injury, they're not too much after that.
Has he retired from Test also?
He retired from Test many years ago.
Okay.
But this is not really big news because he's limping away. I don't know how well he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's almost 40 years old.
He had his glory days.
West Indians are like some of the boys from north of India. If you don't have their birth certificates, you don't know how old they really are. Great talent, no doubt, and all that. But I don't know how much impact he's going to have. West Indies on a revival, at least in Test cricket. Let's see. But not path-breaking news. I prefer the rap story. Now, Chris Gayle can rap. Dwayne Bravo,
Yeah.
Champion can rap.
Champion, yeah.
But I don't know about who's the guy? The other than Divine, the second guy.
Nazi the bar.
Daisy.
Nazi.
Nazi, correct.
Naved
How
Sheikh.
do you like? Which one who do you like better? Nazi or
Naved
Da-
Sheikh. Just go home, open YouTube.
Yeah.
That's the one with the
Why have
wife.
to go home?
And-
I can't do it in the car.
Go to Kunal Vijayakar. ask him to
Cyrus,
open
And ask me if we had kids.
I sent you a YouTube video yesterday, and you were like, "I'll watch it if I find the
No,
charger."
because my phone dies in 40 minutes.
Listen to
Can I
Mondo
announce that?
Sector.
Look, I have an iPhone. I've tried to buy a refurbished phone. It never came. I ordered it, 6,000. Didn't come. Now, if anybody out there is going to give me their old iPhone, I don't care as long as it's working. I don't care I don't
think
care
Abbas
about
is
it at
right
all. It just has to be working. That's it, because mine battery drains. Amit, can you help me with this?
Let me figure something out.
Will I should I just change the battery? Because I don't want to
You
spend
can't change the
10,000.
battery on a battery. You can't change iPhone batteries.
No?
You gotta get a new phone.
I can't do that.
Dude, go to Android, buy a 6,000 rupee phone, be happy.
But there's a
Get
whole
good
change, a
6,000
concept
rupee
change and all. People are saying don't do that. It's like selling out, man.
Listen, if
it's like switching.
phone. You're selling out, you're doing the opposite of selling out. It's the Apple that's selling out, man.
You still put your specs and type like at a 1 word per hour.
1 word
speed.
per hour.
So
And the other day...
Get an Android phone. You can get something a lot cheaper. You can change it whenever the hell you want to. Just get
Okay,
an
can I
Android
just say
phone.
something personally on to support Naveen? Another
Also,
topic.
you know what? Our app is only available on the Android
What's
phone.
your app?
The IVM app.
Okay,
Yeah.
say it again. I didn't hear.
The IVM.
IVM.
IVM
right,
app.
got
It's
it,
only
got it.
available on the Android phone.
I got IVM. I won't forget IVM. I'll just say 3 times. I don't forget IVM. Done.
Podcasts are available on Apple shows,
as you
but
go-
the app is only available on
As
Android.
we go to
Sorry, I should clarify
IVM,
that.
AMA of Cock and Bull, as we go into that, quick word, my good friend Naveen, He's a comedian. We're not paid like Shah Rukh Khan. So Canvas Laugh Factory owes him a lot of money, owes his friends a lot of money, owes me a lot of money. Of course, in my case, I've never performed there, so that we'll get to later. But I think they should pay you.
Yeah, they
talk about it. No?
Because some things are just not funny. Sorry.
Tell the story though. Tell the story.
Quickly.
Nothing. So they have been just like delaying our payments for like months and months, and it's been a year plus now. And
and it's not fair because you did your jokes.
We did
and
our
people
jokes.
already laugh.
People had a great time.
It's not like it's an EMI laughter which happens later.
They're making money also, but like they just refuse to pay. And good comics also, like Kunal Kamra.
Even the bad comics. The point is not that. The point is this is the
Yeah.
understanding that you have to do your share of the bargain.
So I had like a massive anxiety attack one night because I'm like, what? Like because you
And
remember
you're-
Amit, like when I was leaving IVM, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but I'm taking that.
And it's a
leap of
serious
faith.
amount. It's about a lakh or so. So it's a serious amount. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, now what if I've taken the wrong step and like, my comedy career is going away and I'm performing every night, but I'm still not, whatever. The clubs are not paying us. So I felt really frustrated. Woke up in the morning and just set out wrote 4 tweets. And that just blew up in no time.
Has there been any response?
Yeah. They called me like in 3 minutes of the tweet going out, the call came in.
Okay.
I'm like, seriously.
Where's the money?
The money's coming next week.
Are you sure?
I hope so.
Why does it take so long?
Because assholes, man. It's
No,
like-
honestly, once you send the tweet in 24 hours, they should have
There
put it
should
into
be
your bank
no
account.
reason to send a tweet.
Yeah.
That's the
That
point.
being said, I'm saying if they agree to do it, why? What is this? I need 2 more weeks. I don't get that.
And then basically a journalist called me from the Hindu, and then we basically spoke about it, and that news also got covered.
I know N. Rama who owns the Hindu. If there's ever a problem, you call me.
Yeah. So let's see. Next week we'll hopefully have the money in our hands. If not, then we have the power of social media on
You
us.
come to our podcast, listened to by 87 countries. IVM podcast.
Weirdly,
with the app.
after my tweet, boycott CLC became like a hashtag. So I'm like, okay.
But that was only by the audience because they didn't like the comedians. I'm talking about the station.
That's true.
Have they
EMAs,
moved?
EMAs.
They were going to move, right?
They're moving.
They are moving to India Bulls.
That's what I heard, yeah.
It's a lot of bullshit. Okay, AMAs.
Hey everybody, welcome to another awesome week on IVM Podcast. If you're not following us on social media, please make sure you do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So we have a listener survey going on right now. It's going to run till the end of March. It's on our website. It's ivmpodcast.com/survey. Please do participate on that listener survey. Give us your feedback. Tell us a little bit about yourself. That helps us when we go out and talk to advertisers. It is also very helpful for us to kind of know who you are and what kind of things you like. We ask a lot of questions around what kind of content you'd like to see us put out in the next couple of months. And we'd really appreciate any feedback that you could give us. We launched a new podcast on Valentine's Day called Dating is Garbage. Surbi, Abbas, and Janam talk modern dating and the woes and wows that come with it. Each week they sit down with some very cool guests and have an unfiltered conversation about their dating habits, awkward experiences, and heartbreaks. Tune in to hear them attempting therapy on each other. On the first episode, we have comedian Uruj Ashfaq discussing rejection. On the Scene and the Unseen, Amit Verma talks to Ruben Abraham and Pritika Hingorani of the IDFC Institute. They talk about urbanization and planning in Indian cities. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam is joined by Bhavik Dund, who talks about financial planning for first-time parents. On How to Citizen, we are on Chapter 5, which deals with the Indian judiciary. Joining Meghnad and Shreyas on the episode is RJ Rohini. They try and understand the pros and cons of our judicial system. On Golgappar Marathi podcast, Trupti is joined by stand-up comedian Rohan Joshi. He talks about his journey as a comic and the highs and lows of being part of the AIB collective. And with that, let's continue with your show.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Welcome back to the AMAs. Amit takes over as the questioner. Now, we get on a minimum something like 40,000 questions per day.
We get a lot, actually.
We do get a lot, and it's very difficult for us because I met someone at the airport who said my questions never read out.
Oh, by the way, I was in a wedding and I met someone who listens to Cyrus Says, and I told him I'll give him a shout out. So shout out to Aprajit.
Aprajit, this is a shout out. How are you? Yeah. I get this a little bit here
Whose
also.
wedding was it though?
My cousins.
Aprajit. Sorry.
All right, let's start. Oh, wow, there are a bunch of questions about the Valentine's Day episode. Let's go into that first, right?
My wife thinks she's a big star.
I saw
You sent some 2 messages of people saying they really enjoyed her
Yes,
and all
and
that.
then she sent me a
So
message
sent
from
it to all
somebody
her
else,
friends,
no?
saying, So now Kramer versus Kramer, you've started.
Starting
Because now the truth is she's the real comedian. What is coming out?
competing show.
And I'm the nag. Yeah, let's go.
Hey guys, after listening to the last podcast on Valentine's Day, I got a couple of questions for Cyrus. What is your opinion on open marriage? What can be done to make this legal?
See, this
in India?
open marriage is a great concept. If you're
Jaya
not,
from Seattle, sorry.
Jaya, I'm with you. It's a great concept if you're not in love with a woman or man or whatever. It's a great concept. Because, but please do it. But if you're in love, it doesn't work properly because then people have what is called
Insecurities,
emotions. And they get upset,
jealousy,
cry, do stupid things like bang their head on the wall or go to brothels and whatever in revenge because men can't get dates.
How about you, Cyrus?
Yeah. No, this is just the early part of my career.
Okay.
Then I went to Canvas Laughter Factory. Now I can't afford brothels. To cut a long story short, I'm saying Jisko Jaisa. If you want to do that, please do that. Because human society has to evolve, right?
Yeah.
So we can't just have this one-on-one forever. If it works for you, do that. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Naveen, you believe in what? Polygamy of a sort?
I used to be a polygamous
You like
person.
polys.
Yeah. But no, I now believe in monogamy properly.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You got yourself a boyfriend?
I got myself a boyfriend,
and,
7 months
you're
in.
not cheating?
Not on the record.
Like he'll mention it on the podcast.
Why
Yes,
not?
I am.
No.
People tell the truth here.
The thing is...
Moment here, you see IVM logo, right? Right, Amit?
IVM,
there you go.
IVM.
Stop giggling at schoolgirls. We've been doing this for 10 years.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I think one partner at a time is safer. It's
At a time. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So
All right, fair.
target them monthly and then...
What's your boyfriend's name?
Abhishek.
Did you spend Valentine's Day with him?
Yeah, of course.
You met him after?
We watched Gully Boy together.
Wow, that even sounds like porno to me now.
Poverty porno.
Okay, so you're all for the one-on-one relationship, but Jaya, I'm saying please keep an open mind and go for it.
I mean, I know a lot of couples and my friends.
I do too.
They are like okay with swinging. They're okay with threesomes, open relationships.
Yeah, I know
and
too.
to each their own, I feel.
And some of them have survived, happily.
Exactly.
They're more like friends who have share bank accounts and whatever.
Yeah.
But they have sexual
I won't
partners.
shy away from saying that I was in a threesome once with a couple.
Really?
Yeah.
With a male and a female?
No, a male and a male. Why would I go
What
with a
threesome
male?
is that? That's like really getting
That's the
unlucky.
one you don't like.
For a hetero, that's like really getting unlucky. Arey, maine organize kiya. You don't check properly between the lines.
Yeah, but
you order on Amazon.
Yeah, but you see that,
Bezos is going through his own shit. Next thing you know, 3 men. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Arey, but I've got long hair. I'm Tripal. How are you?
Triple bonanza dick pics.
Oh boy.
But no, there's always like insecurity and jealousy. Like, what if this person is more convincing in bed and the person then runs away with that person?
Oh, you didn't come to that?
That can happen.
But I always say I'm the worst. That way, you set the bar and then you're okay.
Not for long.
What am I talking about? Like I've had a group.
Just
Like I have a choir. Okay, guys, they've come.
I don't know if there's South Bombay Illuminati where they come and swing together. I
South
don't know.
Bombay nobody says hello, forget sex. You understand how bad
It's
we
easier.
are?
That's what. Hello, you make it like official. Like
We're like the British. The sex is also like nobody talks to each other, whatever.
We all
It's
teabag
dark,
each other.
Curtains, yeah, all that.
All right. This question is from Swati
I
Baveja.
apologize to the British. Huh?
I'm going to do all 3 questions. I'm going to do the last, the wedding questions, right? Or rather, the questions about the Valentine. Hi, Cyrus, Amit and Abbas. How are you guys? I've been listening to the show for the last 2 years, but this is the first time I'm writing. I want to ask, why were Cyrus and his wife fighting so much during the Valentine's episode? It's a weird question, I know, but there was so much tutu meme in the whole episode that I thought I was home listening to one of my parents' arguments.
I got a theory. My theory is, see, at least I hope I am an egalitarian. I've always been an egalitarian. I try to tell everybody, whoever economically from a lower strata or not, all the time I'm saying, please don't call me sir, I hate all that. But even in relationships, I know that a lot of people work on this top dog and alpha dog and lower dog thing, but it doesn't work for me. I like to. So when you have that egalitarian relationship, you have fighting.
Find someone who can match your crazy. That's all I say. Like, if you're going to give it, then they should give it back, not be like, yeah, I felt hurt because of this.
Also, the genders shouldn't swap because, I used to shave and all that and now she shaves, okay? And she used to shampoo and now I use conditioner more. So, I don't want that to happen because then your identity crisis happens as you age. So there are a few issues. My book will reveal all.
What did you do for Valentine's Day, though?
Thank you. What did you do on Valentine's Day?
I told you I went to Gully Boy. What did you do?
Well, how long is the picture? There's 24 hours in that day.
It's 3 hours and then we went for dinner. So it was
That's
nice.
how it's done, Cyrus.
That's 3 hours and 3 hours and 40 minutes. What happens to the rest of the time?
Then we have sex for 2 hours.
2 hours?
You'll be surprised, yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
the picture was shorter. Oof. Who is this athlete?
Who, me?
No, the other guy. 2 hours you have sex?
Yeah.
I've had 2 hours of sex in my life for 47 years. I mean, if I really round it up.
Round it up, yeah.
Yeah. Abbas has got nothing to say.
Yeah,
Amit,
I've got
Something
they
you
never
can
discuss
learn.
sex. These two are really scared too for some reason.
That's why they need
Masturbation is also sex, boys. You say what you want.
understand
How was your Valentine's Day? Show me your hand.
All right. So this is from Utsav Kataria.
But do you like the way I glamorize myself as an egalitarian?
yeah.
Instead of just saying I'm a truth who can't stand his wife, whose wife can't stand him. Oh, okay.
No,
But
but I
it's too
think
late.
there is truth in that. Right?
Democracy.
I mean, it's not just democracy. Equal relationships mean that there are going to be fights, right? I mean,
Okay, there's a quote my boyfriend used once. It's like, love is telling someone to go to hell and making sure they reach there safely. That's what it is.
We are from India.
Narak.
So everybody quiet immediately.
Yeah.
No India jokes.
No
Yes.
Indian jokes. Hi Cyrus, heard your podcast with your wife and Kunal and could not stop laughing. It's hard to tell when the both of you are joking and actually fighting, so I can only imagine what the brocha household might sound like. My question is, do you believe in love at first sight? How much longer does one wait to decide if the person they like is the one they want to spend the rest of their life with?
You never know the truth. It's like voting for a political party. You never know the truth. So you just take a punt and you go with it. And if you don't take a punt, you can't get married. Well, you're not married, but you've been in relationships a lot of time. If you don't take that punt, how do you get into a relationship?
Exactly.
You can't. There's no 100% guarantee.
Sometimes one look is enough. Sometimes a lifetime isn't.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah. There's no guarantee about anything. He's right, absolutely. Yeah. But here's my advice, if I can advise people, because I am married. If you're one of those guys or girls who the other gender likes, you want to think about not getting married. But if you're one of the normal average Joes or Janes, please get married, because there's a time when no one's going to look at you, and that's all you got. It's a little negative and cynical way of looking at life, but it's the truth. Because I'm looking at your hair, Naveen, which has grown. Down. But I don't know. I got to tell you, I don't know what
CLC pays me. I can go to a barber. CLC pays me on time. I can afford a haircut. But
can I say something? I love Lionel Richie, but he can sing. I mean, you got to think about that.
I can groove.
Naveen can rap.
For 2 hours.
Yeah, I can
For 2 hours, by the way, guys. Without a break, huh? They don't take a break. 2 hours.
बहुत बेड चुपचाप क्या घंटे का इंसान देश कैसे होगा
I'd rather see you having sex than hear you rap. I got to say.
I do it to the beat also.
I can imagine. What does he do? He watches TV.
Cool. I think that's all we got.
Oh, that's all we got. Thank God, man. It's just going downhill from here. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you. We need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Paisa, the show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance. From stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa Paisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have.
Do you wish you were smarter? Well, so do we. But the next best thing?
We could make you sound smarter.
And to help you with this endeavor, we are Simplified, a podcast that attempts to break down the complex world around you with a little knowledge, a lot of poor jokes, and a ton of random trivia.
Episodes out every Monday
on the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
See ya!